Alright guys, times have been tough. I am not going to act like we have been making insane stacks like we did way back in 2017. Alright, this is a weekly chart on Bitcoin, and guys, today I'm gonna be giving you guys my rundown on why I pretty much feel like I know, not financial advice as always, but I may as well know, I may as well say the word I know, that we are done with this downtrend, alright? This started December 17, right when I think it was SIBO futures opened, and up until right now, 7th of June, and this video will be relevant for the next, weeks or even months. So, why I feel like we are done with this whole bearish, terrible sort of trend right now. Guys, this is going to be a bit of a long one. I'm going to be covering fundamental and technical analysis in this video, so please don't get burnt out. Stick with this video until the end. You will understand everything. I'm laying it out extremely simply for you, and really I think by the end of this video you are going to feel the exact same way as me, and in times like this, we've gone on for 6 months now in this downtrend. It is tiring, I understand. This is a fresh breather for you guys, and we may not turn around tomorrow or next week, maybe even not next month. But once we're done with this video, you will know exactly what the trend that we're looking at is going to be. Now guys, before I do get fully into it, do make sure to join the Telegram channel in my in the description here, and of course subscribe and tick the bell so you don't miss my uploads. But I'm just going to get right into it now, and you know what? I want to start off with the possibilities first. There are two main possibilities. I've got this shift pitchfork. I think that's how you say it. There are two main possibilities that we're looking at right now. This is the 2013/14 bubble pop, and what happened is we rallied up from like $70 up to $1,000, and the bubble popped, alright? So the bubble popped, it peaked at 1,100. And it was a slow, grueling journey way back down to about 200 where it leveled out. Now, this is a really interesting concept, and if you didn't know any better, if I didn't know any better, I would have said the exact same thing is happening right now with our 2018 trend. It looks very similar. We topped out at the top of this shift pitchfork, and now we're heading our way down just like we did way back in 2014. In fact, some of the same patterns have shown up as well. I've covered this before. We've got the top over here, followed by another top, the infamous double top, and it happened again in 2018 as well. So we had the double top, we have more double tops, a lot of double tops in 2018. We've had the same trends, the capitulation down. In our case, it went down to $6,000 in 2014. It went down to just below $400. We followed the same patterns, and so if you didn't know any better, you would say that we're going to do the same thing this time. Now the difference is, this time, there are fundamental reasons for why I believe Bitcoin cannot go lower than, even $5,000, okay? These fundamental reasons, I believe, mean that we are ready to start going up once again. It may not be like 2017, but it will be good, it will be sweet, our patience will be generously rewarded, like I keep on saying. Now, why is that? So, first of all, back in 2014, the main ways to buy Bitcoin were over-the-counter and shady exchanges with bad UIs, and just really the type of things you want to avoid. What we've got in 2018 is easily accessible sites to get into Bitcoin. Sites like Coinbase, major institutional investors really able to get in now. There is increased liquidity, anyone can buy and sell very quickly, so this is great for the space. Now that's not all. The tech has improved considerably since 2014. Media awareness has improved. Our market cap is at $346 billion compared to back in 2014 where it may have only been like 10 billion. So it's a massive difference, and the markets just aren't the same. Now, of course, it's the same asset, it can follow the same trend, and I'm about to debunk why that's not the case as well. So we went over some of the fundamental reasons. I'm going to touch on them a little bit later in this video as well, but the main driving force for this video, something which all of you should be taking note of, I'm going to go switch to the daily chart here and take this pitchfork off because we're done with looking at 2014 now. That's not relevant anymore. what we've got here, let me just get another line for you here to make this extremely clear. Alright, so these are three lines that make up downtrends, alright? In this case, it could be an uptrend, and I think it is. So what we've got here is the bubble pop, obviously, going down from 20,000, and right now we're at 7,700. This is standard movement after a bubble pop. But what's different and what's to note over here, what shows us that we're about to have a big price reversal, is the volume. And I've been watching other YouTubers talk about these prices, and it amazes me that they brush off the importance of volume. I honestly don't believe it. I mean, they've got tens of thousands of subscribers, they've got a lot of viewers, and they are completely misguiding their viewers by saying, yeah, but volume isn't that important, it's not as important as looking at the price. Guys, this what you're looking at right now, minus the lines, is the fundamental, the stock, the default chart. It is the default chart for all trading. You get the price, you get the time, and you get the volume. That's all you get. And there is a reason this is the fundamental chart, guys. There is a reason this is the holy grail of all charts. There is no reason to overcomplicate. There is no reason to throw in 10,000 indicators to make your dick feel bigger. This is how it works. This is how charters look at coins or stocks before they jump into things for one final look at things. And what this volume is telling us, guys, is that while we are in this downtrend, let me get a vertical line real quick so I can make this abundantly clear. While we are in this downtrend, let's look at this orange line. This is the moving average of the volume. It is declining. There is no question about it. While we have gone down in price, volume has also declined. Now, I thought that, you know what, maybe I'm not being extremely clear with my explanation here, so I pulled up this Investopedia article, and really what I want to focus on is this final little section here in this on this page. Volume precedes price. Volume tells you before price what's going to happen. A final important concept to understand is that price is preceded by volume. Technical analysis closely watches volume to see when reversals are likely to occur, which means that volume changes can be a precursor to price changes. If volume is decreasing in an uptrend, it could signal that the uptrend is coming to a close and a reversal may be likely. The same is true if we're in a downtrend. This is a downtrend. Now that we have a better understanding of some of the most important core elements of technical analysis, you can move on to charts and things like that. So, this Investopedia, this is where you find any and all information on trading and technical analysis. They said it here themselves. Let's go back down here. A better understanding of the most important core elements. So volume is one of them. It's one of the only things you find on charts that are stock. So what this is telling us, guys, is as we're going down, people are not trading Bitcoin as much because they're not interested in it here. All right. Bears are losing interest in Bitcoin. Bears are losing power. We can even see it in the short-term trend. It's not extremely relevant because this video, like I said, applies to anywhere, but if you guys are watching it right now, this is, let's look at this price action here. We've been moving within 0.046% of Bitcoin's price for the past day, and then yesterday it was the same deal as well. This is extreme stability while bulls and bears are fighting each other, and all the while, let's switch back to this one-day chart, volume is declining. So while we're going down, traders are showing less interest in the market. That is not a coincidence, all right? That means this isn't the true price of Bitcoin. People always talk about corrections in prices, where the price will correct to where it should be. And this volume indicator shows that the lack of interest in Bitcoin's price right now means that this is not the true price for Bitcoin. All right, and that could mean one of two things. It could mean we're about to go back to 20,000, or it could mean we're about to go back to 2,000. All right. Obviously, we're not going back to 2000. Fundamentals are amazing. I told you I'm going to touch back on those a little bit later in this video. And guys, if you've been keeping up with the news, we've got major institutional investors getting in. They are accumulating Bitcoin. Volume is going down, but they're buying over the counter so that their volume buys don't show up here. They are accumulating slowly. When you capitulate, I covered this on my stream yesterday. When you capitulate hard like this, you are giving them your cheap Bitcoin. And the same point I made last time was Bitcoin was made in part to take the power out of the top, 1% in the world. It isn't perfect, I'll admit. It hasn't done its job extremely well, but it has done it better than other things in the past. And by selling your Bitcoin at a cheap price, you're playing into their hands. You are letting the rich, yet again, dominate, pretty much. So, I just thought you guys should be made aware of that over here in this trend. So, just to reiterate how important the volume is before I move on to the next big reason, probably the bigger than volume, for why we're about to rocket up, I want to go back to this article here on Investopedia, and this subheading is why is volume important. This tells you exactly why. I can't explain it better than this. Volume is used by technical analysts to confirm trends and chart patterns. The strength, this is the key word, the strength of this downtrend is being challenged by the volume. It's a weak downtrend. You can see the volume is pretty much, it may as well be zero compared to where it was before. And then we've got an example to back that up. In fact, a 50% rise in the stock price may not be all that relevant if it occurs on very little volume. Buyers and bulls don't agree on that price, and so there's just no interest in the market, and those levels won't sustain. It's the same reason here. We know these levels won't be sustaining, can't be sustained at these levels. The price action can't be sustained at these levels because of the volume. It's just showing that there's no interest in these prices here. So that's volume covered, and this is something you shouldn't overlook. I'm surprised so many people think that it's not relevant, but even more so than that, we're in this log trend here. Let me put this into perspective for you guys here. A trend is very clear when we look at things like this. All right, let me show you where this has happened in the past. We have bull flags. All right, this is where price goes up within an uptrend, and we have sort of a period of consolidation. And we can draw this everywhere. We can draw this everywhere Bitcoin has gone down after, 2016 or something like that. So, I've just done 2 here, but you can do it on every single one of these orange candles, which in this case represent 1 week of declining prices. So we can switch to the daily and it becomes even more clear. But, I just didn't want to confuse you guys by having too many candles on the screen here. So I'm going to switch back to the weekly, but the point still stands. What we have in an uptrend, the uptrend starts, let's say, about here. This is where the triple bottom happened in 2016, started about here. And when we're in an uptrend, we will go up. The RSI will peak, as you can see on the weekly. And RSI doesn't determine price movements, but it helps you know what's going to happen, where it's going to go. And within this bull flag, within this falling wedge, whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. When you have these falling wedges within a downtrend or bull flags, it's followed by prices going up. So it happened here, and we can point this out for every single pattern. And what we're seeing here, you've already figured it out, is exactly the same thing. We are in yet another bull flag within this larger trend, which we started from about 2016. So this is nothing out of the ordinary. Now, of course, the difference here is, I'm on the log chart, so don't be misled by this. The price movements are pretty big. The difference here is obviously that we've gone from 20,000 to 6,000. And that in this case, the price movement is about 75%, 65, my bad. So, the price movement is huge compared to the bull flags we've had before. But, of course, past performance doesn't indicate future results. So it's not like every time we're only going to have, a 10% pullback and then go flying off again. This is the anomaly. This is the exception to the rule, but we are still within an uptrend. And you can't argue that. The price has been going up very nicely on this log chart, and a period of price consolidation / correction like this is to be expected. It's to be expected with an uptrend, and we can see very clearly that if we follow the same trend we have been, which there's no reason we won't, I'm going to touch on the fundamentals for why, we're ready to just, shoot back up. I mean, does this not look like a trend that Bitcoin can easily follow right now? I mean, this is going up to $60,000. We have amazing predictions of Bitcoin going to 1 million by 2020, and that's where Bitcoin halves. That's where it becomes twice as difficult to mine. So, when demand is high, where demand is still relatively high compared to where it's been before, and supply is reduced, that just means a rocket ship, you know. So if you can hold on, if you've got, you know, 1 Bitcoin today, again, not financial advice, but I think if you just hold it for 2 years, you are guaranteed 6 figures against the dollar within 2 years, and that is not a bad deal. That is not, you know, $7,000 today, $100,000 in 2 years is not a bad deal. Mainstream investors would kill for those kinds of returns. So back to those fundamental reasons, you know, the technology has improved, Lightning Network is being introduced, you know, just within the cryptocurrency whole, you know, the whole market, we've got 1,600 cryptocurrencies that exist right now. The space is growing, people are hiring blockchain engineers. You know, if you're a software engineer and you take a course in blockchain, suddenly your salary will jump by like, you know, $50,000 just like that, because you can code for the blockchain. And this is the hot word right now. This is what everyone's into, because it's openly accessible by everyone. Everyone can see what's happening. This solves a lot of real world problems. You know, this is something I didn't understand until recently, because, you know, I think, you know, you'd be justified in feeling like this is one of those things that's overhyped, where it's making a lot of people money, so we're pretending that it's something real. And that's how I felt for a long time. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's how I actually felt about this whole space. I loved making money. I loved the tech behind it, but I just didn't see it being extremely useful in the real world. This is where research and, you know, extensive reading comes into play, guys. If you really want to know why the blockchain will be so influential in the real world, and I have no doubts it will after learning these things, I highly recommend you search it up, because this isn't the type of thing I can cover in this video. It goes on for too long, but you know, you can take my word for it if you believe me. I see a very bright future for this technology, and Bitcoin is the root of all of it. So, you know, you always hear people saying things like Bitcoin will die off because it's not able to evolve, or it's not being used as a currency. But guys, don't forget, Bitcoin is the face of cryptocurrency. It was literally the first one. Problems are being sorted out with things like the Lightning Network. And of course, if Bitcoin isn't as useful anymore as a currency, it can be the digital gold. That's not what Satoshi lined out in his white paper. You know, he didn't want it to be digital gold. He wanted it to be an open currency, decentralized. But I guess this is just an example where things don't go as planned, and currencies that are decentralized and you know, open source, and you know, what Bitcoin should have been, are already available. You know, you can scroll down here and you're already going to find so many different things that, you know, do the same thing as Bitcoin. So it's not the only one here, but it is the face of cryptocurrency, and that's why I don't think it's ever going to fall into irrelevance. And back to this point of institutional investors buying Bitcoin over the counter. Now, guys, the reason they're doing this, all right, the way they operate is they're going to be playing in times like this. All right, let's take this log chart off. Let's hide all of these lines. All right, this is a depressing chart. We're on the linear chart, and it looks absolutely terrible. Okay, you can see the peak, and you can see just how it dropped the ball completely. Switch to the daily here, and it now becomes clear just how long this has gone on. Every single candle represents 1 day, and think about all those people who've been staring at Bitcoin's price, you know, every hour for every single one of these days. I promise I wasn't one of them. This is a tiring process, all right, and it's at times like this. Warren Buffett said himself, "You should be fearful when others are greedy." Everyone got greedy at these areas, you know, up until, you know, up to 20,000, but greedy when others are fearful. And this is one of the most fearful times in Bitcoin. This whole area, this rectangle I spoke about in other videos, this is where people are fearful, guys. This is where, you know, they're losing their savings. Their wives are going to be shouting at them, and they have to sell their car to, you know, live. This is where the fear comes in. This is where institutional investors are going to be buying, so that they can play in this long game, all right? They know they are successful, guys. Don't forget. They know that trying to play these short-term swings isn't going to make them money in the long run. They may do it with bots. They may even do it as themselves, as humans. But the long-term trend is always what makes the most money. And, of course, they're going to be bagging up Bitcoin at these levels and you know, waiting for everything to align, the stars to align for the media to get engaged with Bitcoin and start pumping it, and suddenly it's gonna skyrocket, and they'll be in control, they'll be controlling the supplies. This is already gonna happen whether or not I tell you guys not to sell into their hands, because obviously not every single crypto trader can watch this video, but the ones who do, the ones who already know it without watching this video, will be able to survive this storm, and you know, sit at the top with those guys who actually know what they're doing, who are controlling the market, because if you can trade like them, you don't have to be in control. You just need to know what to do and when to do it. And that's the type of thing that will really make you big gains. So we all need a fresh look at this market. A lot of people are growing disillusioned with the whole space, and I think that's, you know, I think there's no good reason for it. You know, if we look at this chart, it's just so obvious that we're in yet another bull flag. Volume is declining, so nobody is agreeing with this price movement, and that means it could either go steeply down or steeply up, and obviously it's not going to go steeply down because everyone's getting in. The technology is evolving, the space is evolving, the space is being taken seriously now. It makes no sense that we're about to head down. You know, you know, scams will go, you know, the small caps, things under $100 million, even a lot of these top 50, top 100 coins, they will go, all right? But the OGs, Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, Litecoin, well, EOS is a bit shaky, but, you know, these coins, you know, that everyone's into, they will not go, all right? The space is evolving. It doesn't make sense that we head steeply down now. So there you have it, guys. This is why I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin. This is why I have no fears, you know? There have been times where I've been presumably like you. Hopefully not. I hope you guys have been doing well, but I know some of you haven't from talking to you, and I've been there. I have been in your position. And this realization makes it all clear. You know, there's no argument from where I see things. It is the solid truth, you know? It's just a matter of waiting now. And I don't care how long we have to wait. You know, this is why I haven't been saying it's going to happen in a few days or a few weeks or a few months. I don't care when it's going to happen, but I know it will. All right. Now, if you want a number, I'm not the type of guy to shy away from these types of things. I will always give you my guess on what will happen. And it's a very loose guess, but I think it's going to end this year. There's no telling when it's going to happen, you know, whether it's going to be in Q2, Q3, Q4, but I think it's going to happen much sooner than we all think. It could even happen within the next month or the next 2 months where we start an uptrend. Now, like I said, it's not going to be like 2017. We're not going to be getting 10x returns this year. Well, with altcoins we will, but probably not with Bitcoin. And that's okay. You know, even if we go 2x from here, that's $14,000 and we've started an uptrend and we head up to about over here. So that's a pretty good deal. I'd be happy with that. And of course, it means as we go on, 2019, accumulation for the halving, 2020, demand goes through the roof, supply gets chopped down to the floor, and it's very clear where the price action is heading, guys. You need to be in this for the long game if you want to make big money, and if you are, you are secure. I mean, again, not financial advice, but I have complete faith in this. So guys, that's my take on it. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, you know exactly what to do. And of course, hit up the Telegram channel below if you want posts from me daily. We've also got VIP opening in 3 days now. Guys, if you want to reserve it, you'll be getting a special bonus. We've already got some people in the reserve for VIP ready to join in 3 days right away. So that is going to be absolutely amazing. I've been getting amazing testimonials. People telling me they've doubled their portfolio in, not even 30 days, under 15 days, people paying off the cost for VIP in under a day. So this is very normal stuff that happens. We've got an amazing group of traders. It's my pleasure to be running this. Seeing how lives have changed because of this is the most amazing thing I've ever had to the pleasure to experience. But that's it for this video. I hope you have found it useful, and I'm going to be signing off now. Peace.